Welcome to Dropping In, a podcast of storytelling and interviews with your host, Winter Olympian Mercedes Nichol.
Thank you so much for dropping in today. This is Series 7, where I am talking to some of my favorite athletes. They are part of Team Canada and they are Paralympians. So let me get to this guest that we will be dropping in with. This is episode 68, and dropping in today, our guest today, he started competitive wheelchair basketball in 1996. And then in 1997 and 2001, he won the Junior World Championships. He's been competing internationally for Team Canada since 2007, and he's still going. He is now the team captain on Team Canada's men's wheelchair basketball team. He's a 7-time national champion, a 4-time Pan American Games competitor, and that adds 3 silver medals to that. Placing second at the Lima Pan American Games, this qualified him and his team to his 4th Paralympics with Team Canada at the 2021 Tokyo Paralympics. He's a 4-time Paralympian, if you didn't get that, bringing home silver at the 2008 Games and gold at the 2012 London Games. And he's also an active volunteer and coach. This son, friend, junior world champion, 7-time national champion, Pan American Games medalist, Paralympic champion, gives back to sport in the best ways. Let me introduce Bo Hedges. Hello. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. It's like a mouthful of all your accolades that you just heard.
Yeah, you got the full list there for sure. So,
And like you have
thank
award, you have so many other awards that I didn't even touch on. You're an amazing human.
thank you. Well, when you're in the sport a long time and get a few games, you start to accumulate some accreditations there.
Seriously. Bo, are you ready to drop into our rapid fire questions that are never rapid?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay, number 1. Do you have a lucky charm?
Lucky charm, eh? Not necessarily. I've done different things over the past. I have sometimes like special socks that I'll wear for like games, but it's not continuous. So, but like I'll find some. I'm like, oh, those are the ones I'm gonna wear for like a real big game.
Yeah.
I used to always like carry a quarter in my backpack just in case, when you used to have payphones, that was more relevant.
Really dating ourselves now.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, so little things like that. I guess I always have a lanyard on my backpack to distinguish it from the other guys, but it always has a compass on it too, just in case you get lost.
Smart. Very
Yeah.
smart. So little trinkets here and there. I love it. I also had socks. Like, I think it was before 2010. I was like, these socks, they're really just working for me. I
Yeah.
don't know. Superstitious kind of things.
Yeah. Little things.
All right, number 2. It's a 2-part question. The favorite place that you've traveled for basketball, wheelchair basketball, and then also for pleasure.
Um, I think, well, wheelchair basketball, it kind of like it ties into like the gold medal and winning in London and London and England, how they embraced us. And so that was pretty special, and it's really unique in that sense. And how they embraced the Paralympics within that games, and then people just recognizing you and celebrating you and that sort of thing. It really made that city and that country special to me in that sense. And then personally, traveling, I've always enjoyed Germany. I guess it's a great country, good food, good beer, usually real green. So those are kind of that European sense for sure.
I like that. Do you go to London often now?
I have not been there since the games.
No
So
way.
yeah.
Oh, wow. I like that it has a little special place in your heart. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. Where in the world are you today?
I live in Toronto 3/4 of the time. The rest of the time, I'm at my parents' cattle ranch in northern BC, so still somewhat a Western boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of the time, and right now, I'm in Toronto in my apartment down in the downtown core.
Okay, so are you a big city or small town kind of guy?
I can manage the big city, but I like the small town better.
Okay, cool. When you're in the gym, this is number 4. When you're in the gym working out, would you rather have headphones on with like loud music or just hear yourself like working out?
Generally, I just hear myself working out.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm getting prepped for like a game and doing like shooting and stuff like that in my pregame, I'll generally have music on. But if I'm just there getting my work in,
Okay.
no headphones.
Okay. And number 5, do you have a favorite game ever?
Favorite game, like game that I played?
Yeah, that you played in. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Favorite,
asked Marie Philippe Poulin that question and she's like, Monopoly.
my mind started to go to that. I
I
was
know.
like, oh.
Sorry, I need to be more specific.
Yeah, I was like, oh. Um, Favorite game I played in would be the probably the bronze medal game, or not the bronze medal, semifinal game at Parapens in Toronto 2015. By winning that got us to the Rio Games, and we had a little bit of a tough spell before that, and we did it in Toronto, beat Brazil by 15 or 20, and so that was a pretty special game to do in front of friends and family in our home country.
I heard nothing but good things about those games.
Yeah, they did an amazing job in terms of just the logistics and made it definitely feel almost on that Paralympic scale
Yeah.
with how they hosted and organized. And so, yeah, it was a great opportunity to play in Canada, and hopefully, maybe one day I'll get to play in Canada again in front of the friends and family and all the fans.
Are you going to go till 2030?
That might be a little long away, but
That's the worst question an athlete can give another athlete. I'm sorry.
uh, there is a world championship in Ottawa that
Okay.
we're hosting in
Oh, sick.
2026. So, yeah, that might be more doable than
Okay.
anything in 2020-30 realm.
Who knows? You never know. Uh, okay, so number 6, you talked about being on the ranch. What time of the year are you usually at the ranch?
Usually, I am there through October, September in that period, and
Yeah.
then a little bit in the winter as well. Obviously for the holidays usually, and then sometime in the getting ready and helping them with the calving, and then again in the spring. So kind of like those 3 little segments. So
So you're fully like farming when you're up there too.
yes, I'm helping on the quad, chasing cows in the tractor, going in circles, doing all that sort of stuff, picking some rocks here and there if need be.
Oh, awesome. It's like your other training.
Yeah, that's right. It's
Number
a
so
little bit
good.
more full body for different things. Gets the
Yeah.
core engaged. So
Wow.
yeah,
Number 7, what would be the top place in Canada to train?
top place to train. Like my favorite place to train, or
Yeah,
like the best quality training.
your favorite.
Uh, I like to shoot baskets at my parents' ranch. There's a cement pad there, and so I can shoot and do stuff there. That's pretty awesome up there to
Nice.
be able to keep doing some stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, I would probably have to say the Oval in Richmond for yeah, just shooting baskets, and you can get your lifts in there and look at the mountains. And Vancouver's a beautiful place as well.
It is. I have tried wheelchair basketball there.
Yeah,
And kudos, my friend. It's very difficult.
definitely a learning experience.
Yeah, for sure. Number 8, if you're not training, what can you be found doing?
I can usually be found. I guess most of my time when I'm not training is volunteering somewhere
Mhm.
if I'm not on the ranch. So writing emails for. I'm on the board of directors for BC Wheelchair Basketball. I chair that board, and then I'm on the Athletes Can board, and then I am the athlete rep, or one of the athlete reps for wheelchair basketball and Team Canada or captain there. So all
You're
that stuff
busy.
keeps me busy, uh,
That's a
no matter
lot.
where I am. Yeah, it adds up, as you know.
Yeah,
You
for
keep
sure.
things get things
I'm
happening.
only on 2 things now, and it still
Yeah.
seems like a lot. Thank you for giving back to all the athletes. Number 9, obviously, we had the pandemic. Uh, did your training change at all during that time?
Um, I mean, we had to make some adaptations. There was obviously we started doing the training in the apartments and adding to your own home gym and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So did some of that. We were fortunate though because we were preparing for the Tokyo Games that they were able to get us back into the gym
Okay.
fairly soon, but it still was a few months out of the gym. And then when we had to go back, we were like one person on a hoop with one basketball, wipe everything down, wear a mask. So that
Yeah.
was all a bit odd. So a lot more individual focus for a period of time there versus interacting with your teammates, which is a huge part of wheelchair basketball.
Right.
Is
Wow.
the whole team aspect. So yeah, so I was able to focus on some things I need to do as a myself
Yeah.
and do that. But yeah, so that would be the big change overall.
Okay. Number 10, this is not a poke at you because was called a veteran at, I think, 18 years old.
Right.
Um, so I wanted to ask you, how long have you been called the veteran on the team?
I have been called a veteran for quite some time. Some even call me uncle.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
I'm not even
Does
on my team. Some of
Oh
the
my gosh.
some of
Oh
the
my
wheelchair
gosh.
rugby guys call me Uncle Bo. Uh, so
Awesome.
that's when
I'm
you
gonna have
know you've
Trevor
been around.
on. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
Trevor Hirschfield on.
yeah. You can ask him about Uncle Bo. He'll
Yes. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. I never liked it. I'm like, "I'm 18 years old, like, you can't call me a
yeah.
veteran just because 'cause I've been doing this for, like, years now."
Yeah, that's a little young to be called a veteran. So,
Serious.
yeah, but definitely by my early 30s, I was a veteran. So that's going on 10 years now.
Amazing, amazing. And so so that's we did it, the rapid fire, never rapid. I feel like we crushed it.
Yeah, I felt good about that.
I wanna get into the Paralympics. Your first ones were in 2008. When you went into those, was there, like, an expectation that you were like, "This is gonna be awesome," or like, I went to my first ones and I was super naive. I didn't really know what the Olympics were. So, what
Uh,
was going on in your head?
I was naive in the sense of what the games were for sure.
Mhm,
Our team had a ton of pressure on us. We were going in as winning the last two Paralympic gold medals and
mhm.
trying for the third. And so there was a lot of internal pressure from each of us as athletes, but also
Wow.
as a team to like try and win again,
Yeah.
which had never been done before. So in that sense, I felt that, but like what the games would be and like the people and the Olympic areas and all of that, I had no idea. And it's amazing when you're finished the games, you don't realize the pressure that you were like kind of putting on yourself. And like the day after the gold medal game, I was just like this huge weight was off my shoulders, and I was just like, oh wow, there's a lot going on that I had no idea that was going on, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so there was all that internal pressure, but in terms of yeah, it's just such an amazing experience. My first games, and China did a great job of hosting and creating this environment to really embrace my friends and family that came, as well as
Right.
the athletes and support us while we were there.
So silver in 2008,
Yeah.
push on another 4 years. A lot happens in that 4 years. Like, what were you going through in that 4 years? Were you like, "I'm going again," or just next game? Like, where was your head at?
Um, well, yeah, as you say, a lot does happen in 4 years, and so there was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to compete in another game, so I was going to
Okay,
train the whole quad. But our team had a bunch of ups and downs. We went to the World Championship in 2010 and ended up in seventh
okay,
after winning, and seventh earned our zone, the third spot to qualify, and then in Guadalajara at the Pan Am Games, we lost a semifinal that we'd never lost to Colombia, and then we had to pay a bronze medal game and won that against Mexico to earn the third spot. So there was all these little things that kind of happened, and then we were
because
all yeah,
qualifying, like, how do you
yeah,
qualify? It's all these games throughout, or is
yeah,
it
that's
just
right.
the year before?
So it's the year before. You got to work your way in and make sure you get to the qualifying tournament. For the
Yeah,
Olympics, it's the Para Pan American Games.
okay.
And then depending on how your zone has done at the last Olympics or World Championship that determines how many spots and teams can then qualify from your zone.
Okay.
So by getting seventh at the Worlds in
That didn't help.
2010, it did, because if we had lost that game, there would have been only 2 spots.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Yeah. So we earned that 1 spot, and then it turns out we really needed that 1 spot because we lost another game that we probably shouldn't have lost, but a team played well and we played poorly. And any given day, the world of wheelchair basketball has gotten so much closer and that much more competitive that the disparity between the top two is quite real, but
Okay.
3 through 10 is very close. And so those teams on a really good day can beat those other teams. And so fortunately, we qualified in Guadalajara.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's okay.
And then in London, we had this real motivation and a lot of team chemistry, I guess,
Okay.
would be the big piece. And we just kind of put a lot of things that we had together, and a lot of us had been playing together for years and years.
Yeah,
And
I'm
so
curious about that. Does the team change like in a quad, or do you keep it the same, or does it change every year?
it changes slightly every year. So maybe
Okay.
one guy, like the 12th guy, we have a team of 12. And so
Yeah.
that 12th, 13th guy switches in and out. And so
Okay.
over a quad, so from London to, or
From
from Beijing
Beijing
to
to
London,
London.
we
Yeah.
probably had 2 or 3 guys change out.
Okay.
But the base of the London team was a lot of the guys that were on the 1997 Junior Worlds team. We had 4, if not
Oh,
5 guys from that junior team that had been playing together for the last 15 years off and on that squad that won
wow.
in London. And similarly in Beijing, there was a big group of it there as well. And so it was kind of a culmination, and some of the guys retired after the London games and stuff like that. So it was
They're
a
like,
pretty
"Gold, I'm
unique
out."
feeling. Yeah, that's right. We won again. Let's get out of here. Um, in
That's awesome.
hindsight, they might have known what they're up to. But so yeah, so that was it was just an amazing thing to accomplish again with that core group, and a lot
Mhm.
of the guys from British Columbia that I'd played with for years were still on the team. And
Yeah,
so to win as a group and a program, to win 3 gold medals and 1 silver in basically like a 12-year span was a pretty amazing feat for the
for sure.
program. And
Seriously.
so
And then, did so obviously after London, the team dynamic probably changed a lot,
yeah,
and then qualifying for Rio, was that just as wild?
yeah, it was. It definitely had its ups and downs. We didn't qualify for the World Championship in 2014 with the new
Okay.
group. We about half the team kind of started to move on from London, and so we got a lot of young guys, a lot of good players. Just injuries and the dynamics and circumstance kept us from qualifying, and then so that was what made the Parapan Games in Toronto. Um,
Right.
so important for a program, as you know, on the podium rewards performance, and if you're not
Mhm.
a Paralympic sport or not going to the Paralympics and haven't gone to a World Championship, suddenly the program begins to
Yeah.
suffer a ton. And so there was a bunch of external pressure that I felt for sure, because I
Mhm.
realized the gravity of what if we didn't do it again, and
Yeah.
what it could mean not just for us as athletes, but also the program and people's
Next
jobs,
generations.
livelihoods,
Yeah.
yeah, all of that stuff. So, in that sense, there's a massive amount of pressure.
Mhm.
Uh, and then, but we were able to qualify. And then that led into the us going to Rio, which we didn't have a great performance there, but it was a young group, and the guys got a lot of experience out of that, and it was a different
And
type of.
did you share any of, like, your wisdom about going to a games with them?
Yeah, you try to. It was just a different situation overall,
Mhm.
um, and we actually our coach um, from London, and then leading into Parapans, he had to pull out because he had cancer, and so
Oh my
another
god.
coach took over, and so there was just all of these different factors that affected us as a group,
So many
and
hurdles.
yeah, and then we got to the the Paralympics in Rio, and it was definitely a different type of experience. So
It was challenging, wasn't it? It was hot there, wasn't it?
it was hot. The facilities were great. The fans
Yeah.
that came out were amazing.
Yeah.
But there was challenges in the village, some of the transportation issues,
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
those things were a little bit tougher. Especially with the games just being in Rio and their financial situation as a country, it became tougher and tougher as the tournament went on, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it just, but in the
Did
end,
you does your team I had Tyler McGregor on sledge hockey,
mhm.
and he was saying that the sledge hockey team decides they usually go to the opening ceremonies, but for the next one they decided they're not going to. So do you guys decide as a team whether you're going to do that or not? Because you play throughout the whole games, right?
Yeah, we start usually the day after and go through till the day before closing.
Wild.
So, yes, dependingly, if we have a morning game after the opening ceremonies, the
Yeah.
decision is made for us that we don't go,
Right.
right? If it's a night game, like in London, we were able to go because you could walk there and then you could leave and walk home, and so that
Yeah.
made a huge difference.
Awesome.
In Rio, we went. Some of us went, some of us stayed. Tokyo, obviously, it was a different atmosphere, and none of us went. I think they
Yeah.
only had like 5 people in the Paralympic opening ceremonies for Canada, so
Exactly.
it was a real small contingent there. And then closing, but I would always recommend if you have the opportunity to go to an opening ceremonies, especially
Yeah.
if it's your first games. It's such an amazing experience. The fans,
Yeah.
everybody cheering when you come in. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I
I
still
know.
remember
I
Beijing.
felt bad for everyone in
Yeah,
Tokyo.
yeah. With that, and then yeah, even the closing ceremonies, it's still a pretty cool experience to
Yeah.
go and just do that thing and see the crowd and see the show. And so I went to the Tokyo closing. There wasn't very many of us that went from the team. I think only 2 or 3 of the guys went, and maybe 4 or 5 of the women's team went. So
Yeah. My first games, I was, like, so naive that I didn't know the host country walked in last.
okay,
Did you know that?
I think I did know that beforehand.
Just like, "Oh, wait, what?" And then, for 2010, I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm going for Canada." So
Yeah, that
wild.
would be one you don't want to miss for sure.
Because I almost switched countries actually to the UK.
Right. There was, I think you've told me a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Not all of the
Politics in
countries,
sport.
so
Well, we know all about it.
yes, yes, there's lots.
Challenging. Okay, so Rio and then move on. What happened to the team like in 2020? We just touched on it in the rapid fire, but like you're not all in Toronto, are you?
No, we were all over kind of Canada and a few in the States.
Yeah.
So none of our guys were playing in Europe. So there is some professional leagues in Spain and Germany and Italy
Okay.
that
Yeah,
some
yeah,
guys
yeah.
play in, and that sort of thing. So basically, as every other sport, the world shut down for like 6 months,
Yeah.
7 months. But then the winter of 2020, 2021, the European League started up again, and some of the college teams in the U.S. That have wheelchair basketball programs started, and so there were people playing basketball competitively around the world,
Okay.
just not most of us in Canada. So we were training kind of individually, and then started being able to train again as a team around
Yeah.
Christmas, and so that kind of uh, I don't want. Yeah, it was just a bigger challenge for us than some countries that were playing. And then, as you know, Europe is so small that national teams can get together quite easily and play friendlies in the eurozone and not have to cross really borders or deal with any immigration or COVID tests or requirements. So they were able to get some friendlies in and do some of that stuff. So there was some very big hurdles in our preparation for the games. So
Yeah.
we didn't get any friendlies in leading into Tokyo, which normally
Oh
we'd
my
probably get
gosh.
20 to 30 in a year. So
That's a game changer.
yeah, so it was pretty tough, but we did the best we could as a group and a team and a program to prepare ourselves, and we
Yeah.
came out and got our butts kicked by Spain, but bounced back the next day and lost in overtime to Turkey, who ended up fifth, and lost to Japan by a few points, and they got silver. And then won our couple games to get us into the quarterfinals, and lost a tight one to the reigning world champions in the quarters. So obviously would have wanted to do a little better and maybe win that quarterfinal match, but we played competitive games and give ourselves a chance to play for a medal and play a competitive quarterfinal. So as a group,
Wow.
I'm very proud of how we came together and through that, and were able to play competitively and play well for our country.
For sure, man. I mean, hurdle, and everything was kind of thrown at you guys. It's wild. It's so wild.
Mhm.
When you're at the Tokyo Games, obviously you're getting COVID tested, and I
Yeah,
saw some photos of like eating in the where all the athletes eat.
yeah.
Uh, was there any like awesome food?
The food was pretty good in Japan for sure. They had some nice dumplings and some sushi and that sort of thing. So some good local cuisine that helped out.
Yeah.
There was nice coffee. I enjoy my coffee. So um,
I'm
uh,
just thinking about you refueling because for me, I have like 3 days of practice. It used to have 5.
yeah,
And then I my sport is 30 seconds. So I'm like done. And you're
yeah,
just going the whole time when you're at the games. I mean,
yeah.
refueling is really important while you're there and resting.
Yeah, it's especially as you get older. But we have a shoot around practice every morning, and then a game in the afternoon. Or if you have a game in the morning, then you'd have a shoot around practice at night. So you're going in, yeah, you are getting those shots, and you're getting treatment, you're getting rest. I
Mhm.
have a pretty extensive pregame routine with the nap, and then have a ball in my bedroom that I take downstairs into the basements or the bowels of the buildings and like shoot off the wall and practice, start getting my touches in, start playing with
Wait, what
like
does the
playing
touch
the
mean?
touches on the basketball.
Oh.
So I just have a basketball with me, and
Yeah.
I'll shoot against the wall, just to start feeling that and start doing visualization and do some passes against the wall. So I'll do that like for 15, 20 minutes in the basement of the residence, a couple hours out of the game, somewhere in that range, 2.5 hours out of the game, just to start like getting my body ready.
Okay.
And then get some food again, like you said, run by the cafeteria, sneak in there, and probably not eating the dumplings then, maybe have a salad and
Yeah.
some good carbs, and then jump on the bus with the guys and get to the gym and have team meeting, and then get on the practice court and start practicing. And I guess the secret to my a lot of what I do is, Mio, the water supplement.
Yeah, yeah.
In the States, you can buy Mio with caffeine in it, and
Oh.
so I just spike all my drinks with that.
Top secret, guys, top secret.
Yeah, top secret.
That's
Instant
awesome.
caffeine. So,
Yeah, yeah, boost.
yeah, so I do that, and then yeah, then you get your game, and then get some treatment, get some ice, take some Advil, and then get back to the dorms and jump in the ice bath and cool the body down and get ready for the next day.
I like that, like, the whole world is now doing, like, cool polar dips as well.
Okay.
So now they know what it's like to be an athlete. Because I did my first one in 2010, and I can tell you I did not like it.
Yeah, no, it was not fun. Yeah, we started doing them a little bit in preparation for the 2012 games. Was the
Yeah.
first time that we started using those, and then it's been sporadic. Some countries do it very religiously, and they bring their own along with them to everything. So,
Oh,
but yeah, so
wow.
that's it. I do the cold showers right after a game to start cooling the body down. So, and then I'm hooked on them. I just have cold showers all the time.
That sounds awful to me. I like to stay warm even though I'm a winter sport girl.
Yeah.
Too funny. Anything else, like, from the games that you wanna share? Tidbits, secrets that happen with Team Canada?
Uh, you know, I think it's just it's one of those things where it's finding ways to like kind of kill time, but also do things that are fun with your teammates, right? And so
Mhm.
whether it's in London, it was kind of drinking coffee and going and just wandering around the village and finding the different food things because the food was amazing at the London Games. To
Yeah.
uh, Brazil was the open space, like the Olympic Green area. The people there were amazing. Just the regular Brazilian folks in there, and just signing autographs, and them coming up and just being
Oh,
so
that's
stoked to
awesome.
see you. And then in Tokyo, with everything being a little bit different, obviously, but brought the frisbee along and just playing frisbee with the boys out front, and finding ways just to like hang out and build that team chemistry
Yeah.
and get
While
ourselves
keeping your
prepared.
sanity.
Yeah, that's right. Because there's long days at the village sometimes, especially when
Totally,
you were there
totally.
4 or 5 days ahead of time to do
Mhm.
all the things you have to do, and so it
Yeah.
can get a little old by the end. So yeah,
So
keep your
so
sanity.
yeah, no, totally. So we talked about, London. Would you say that that would be your favorite games if you had to choose?
If I had to choose, yes, London was
Yeah,
my favorite games.
okay.
Obviously, it's got the token or the
A little bit
asterisk
of
of a gold
gold?
medal. Yeah, that always helps. But they're all very unique and special
Yeah.
to me. So yeah, London was the gold medal, and my parents being there and the family, and just being there to experience
Right,
that
no
with them.
one in Tokyo.
No one was there in Tokyo, so that was a little different for sure.
Is
Uh,
that weird for basketball because you're used to, like, hearing a crowd? Did they, like, put a fake crowd noises in or anything?
there might have been some noise. I don't really notice the noise once the game gets started, but
Okay.
at the end of the game, when you're looking around and you see the family there, or when you're warming up and you kind of look around, and you see your parents there. That
I
always
loved
makes a little
that.
bit of difference for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, one of the best things about the Rio games is we were done early, and so I had a ton of family there, like 20 or so, and so I
Oh
got to
my
spend like
gosh.
3 or 4 days in Rio just doing stuff with them, which
Awesome.
never happens if you're playing for a medal. So I don't want to necessarily experience that
Right.
again.
Oh, I see what you're saying there. It was awesome to spend time with my family, but it would've been cooler to make it to the finals.
Yeah. So and
Dang.
then China was always great because it was the first one, right?
Yeah, totally.
And then Tokyo is just unique, and hopefully never there will be another games like it with the COVID and everything everybody had to go through to be there. So
Seriously. So did your family go to all of the games other than Tokyo?
yes,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
I had to tell my parents not to come to Sochi.
right, yeah,
I was like, there sounds like there's bombs happening. Let's I don't wanna worry about you."
yeah. That's a distraction I don't need during the
Yeah,
middle of the
totally.
Olympics.
Where are my parents?
Yeah,
Oh, what
yeah.
Olympics? Anyways, Bo, thank you so much for dropping in. Where can people find you online if they wanna see what you're up to?
You can find me on Facebook, which is an easy one, Bo Hedges.
Yeah,
And then I am on Instagram somewhat.
okay.
Let me just find well, if you search Bo Hedges, it'll be there. But my handle is, here tells you how much I'm on there. It, how do I even find that?
Are
Oh, there it is.
you, like
Hedges Canada _6. So
is your number 6?
I am number 6.
Number 6. Well, number 6, Bo Hedges, thank you so much for dropping in
Thank you
today.
for having me.
Thanks so much for dropping in today. You can find everything you want to know about Dropping In with Mercedes at droppinginwithmercedes.com. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks DJ Kenosis for the music and my mom for the intro voice.